squabbling with siblings and making sure mom knew how bad your sibling was and how you did nothing wrong, or one sibling, usually the oldest, was the one in control, the one that got to be the teacher instead of the student. Those normal roles as kids are deep down probably still there in some form. I'm going to go over some options if you are inheriting a house with siblings. I'm Jana Classy. This is my husband, Paul, and we are realtors here in the Eastern Panhandle. Unless the will specifically states otherwise, inheriting a house with siblings means that ownership of the property is distributed equally. There may be one executor named in the will, or all the siblings may be named as co-executors. Either way, the siblings really do need to agree on what they want to do with the house. And there's three main options. 1, sell the home and divide the profits. 2, one sibling buys the others out. 3, keep the house and share ownership. And here's more details about each of those options. Number 1, sell the home and divide the profits. If everyone agrees, this is the easiest way to ensure fairness and avoid conflict. There are decisions to be made, however. One sibling may want to sell as is because they can't afford repairs. The other wants to do some repairs in order to get more money for the house. So that needs to be negotiated. Maybe one can foot the bill for any repairs and then get reimbursed at settlement before the dividends are divided, something like that. There's also the question of maintaining the property until it sells. And it is important to do that. We had clients who couldn't come to an agreement on maintenance expenses, so the house sat empty for quite a while. A pipe burst and then froze and then melted and the whole house was flooded. If the decision is to sell and divide profits, then it's a good idea to sell as soon as possible. The longer a house sits empty, the more likely there's going to be problems and the more costly it gets. For example, if there's a mortgage on the house, those payments will have to be made until the sale. Plus, capital gains are figured on the value of the house from the time you took ownership to the date the house was sold. So there's less likelihood of value increases if that's a short time period. If you are in probate, you can list and sell the house right after you receive the letters of qualification. The dividends from the sale, however, shouldn't be distributed until the creditors have been paid and probate is closed. Number 2, one sibling buys the others out. The main issue with this is how the buyout will be financed if the sibling wanting to buy doesn't have the cash. There's no mortgage financing available that I know of to purchase for this type of purchase. It would have to be a personal loan or the sibling wanting to sell could finance her half of the house. You'd get a property evaluation and appraisal and then work out the terms, the interest rate, length of loan, down payment, that sort of thing. Number 3, keep the house and share ownership. Maybe as a shared vacation spot or a rental to produce income. So in this case, there are several decisions and agreements that need to be worked out. The first being how ownership will be structured. The two most common are joint tenants with right of survivorship or tenants in common. Joint tenants with right of survivorship means siblings share ownership of the entire property, and if one of them dies, ownership passes automatically to the other siblings. Since you share ownership of the entire property, all owners will have to agree to any refinancing, equity loans, things like that. Tenants in common means that each sibling owns an equal share and has control over that share only. So if you own a home along with another person, you own half of the house. You can sell your house. You can sell your half. And if you die, it will go to your children, unless you specify otherwise in a will. So how ownership will be structured is the first decision. If you use it as a shared vacation home, maintenance costs need to be negotiated. If it's decided to keep it and rent it out for income, then there should be an agreement about property management, and it's probably a good idea to hire property management company. They'll find renters, collect the rent, keep it maintained for a fee. It's a lot easier to get through this process if the will is clear about what will happen to the house. The fewer decisions that need mutual agreement, the less likelihood of conflict. It's a good idea to document all agreements on paper that is shared among siblings to ensure that everybody's on the same page. Also, it's a good idea to keep detailed records of all money deposited into the estate account, as well as all money going out and what it was spent on. And then regularly share that documentation with siblings. Inherited homes often come with a lot of sentimental value, which may lead to siblings disagreeing on what to do with the home. I did a video about the best time to sell a house in probate, and that should be showing up here beside me. You can click on that, and I'm always available if you need help. 304-264-2828. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Bye.